Hey guys, welcome back, and today I wanted to do a quick video on some of the stocks that I was following up or I did a video for last week, and I'm just doing another update video to see where things are, if there is anything of importance or if there is anything of interest right now. So number one, if we look at Meta, so on my previous video we spoke about this level right here at 592.80, about 592.80, 593 being a key level for Meta. So last week, we're on the weekly time frame. Last week we ended up with this doji right here, and I had a note that this week, rather this was a note from last week. So for this week I wanted to see if we can see some green volume coming in to actually validate if this is an actual reversal at this area or not. Now fast forward, we're in this week, we started on Monday, and definitely I'm willing to give this one more time just to see how things pan out, if it's an actual reversal or a failed reversal. But some of the key things to note here on Meta, we still have this area right here. When you come to the daily time frame, you can see how you have these candles floating right here. So you have this area right here. We had an indecision, as you can see right here. And then we hung around here, and then we gapped up with a support at this level of 592.80. So right now we are still dancing in this same area right here. So we are still dancing right there, trying to see what happens or what the path is for Meta. Now, a key thing to note is that we still have this gap, because we gapped up from here. From here, 7th April, we gapped up. You can see the candle right here to 8th of April. You can see the gap up right here. So what I'm talking about is that you have this area where these candles are dancing right around here, and you have this gap right there. So question is that I even pose each and every time before I enter a trade is, are we holding an area or not? Because if you're not holding an area, that means that higher the chances, if it's a support, we are going to go further down. Now, this is just an opinion. It's not financial advice in any shape or form. It's just an opinion that I'm giving out here. So we talked about the indecision on the weekly time frame. You can see that very clearly. We talk about the indecision that happened here last week. So this coming week, we can see we've already started up with red volume. So, I mean, it's just Monday. Tomorrow is Tuesday, another trading session. We'll wait and see if we actually pick up here or not. So right now, if you're going into Meta with calls, it's still a 50-50 type of scenario whereby you don't know if it's going to hold this area of 592 or not. Because remember, we have this gap that is just down below here, and you have to consider that before you enter a trade if you're doing calls. So right now, for me, Meta, I'm still for the case whereby I'm willing to wait to see what happens. Now, I did also talk about Zeta. Now, Zeta, we spoke about it maintaining the monthly 21. Now, you can really see what happened here. So, we failed to hold this monthly 21. Now, I also had a note on this that what I want to see coming to the following week, which is actually this week, we want to see green volume. So far, this is a clear indication that there's really no momentum here. I mean, when you look at this setup, this is a very nice setup right here for a breakout, but we are still not breaking out yet. Now, I'm not saying it's a bad trade idea. I'm just saying at this point in time, it's still not working the way I want it to work, because you have this support, you have this resistance right here. You have this resistance from this candle from the 1st of April 24. You have a breakout candle. It pushed all the way to up here, 38. You can see it dropped. It tried to hold this same level right here at 1370. You can see the hammer right here. You can see all these candles and a doji right here. So this meaning this is a critical area, and it begs the question, is it going, if it fails to get the momentum that we need, is it going to come back here to 13 and test to see if we actually have support here or not? Let me come to the daily time frame. So on the daily, I mean, this thing has so much on the bottom. Number one, I can see this level right here. Let me just draw it here real quick. I can see that level right there. That's also an area of interest when you look at the daily time frame, about 1589. So let's give a scenario. Let's say it fails to hold up here and keeps dropping and comes down to right here, 1589. We want to see if it holds there or not, because if it doesn't, maybe it comes and bounces off this trend line where it's been bouncing on. Let's come to the weekly. So you can see how it's been bouncing right there. It was bouncing right here. So maybe potentially it comes and tries to bounce here. If it doesn't really get the support that it needs, then there's really no need to get into a trade like this if you're doing calls, because long story short, you're going to lose money if it keeps pushing further down to come and maybe test this area at 13. So until then, for me, just an opinion, it failed to hold the monthly 21. So let me come back to the monthly time frame here. So for me, it did fail to hold the monthly 21. So I'm really no longer interested in this, because even when you look at this candle, this looks like a really big sell that's going on. So in terms of calls, it's a no-go for me at this point in time. Let's look at HIMS. So we all know HIMS had their earnings call today. They did pump, I think, to about like $30. Let me come to the 10 minutes. So they did pump to about $31, and those who had shares, good for you. You got some money out of this. You got to $30. But if you had call options on this, again, earnings, plain earnings with calls or puts, it's a tough situation out here. It can go either way, but if you have shares, good for you. You can always exit or buy back and do all that type of stuff. But anyway, you can see we got all the way to $31 and then we dropped all the way down. Now we closed at, this is $25 right now. So we closed at $25. Now let's come and look how that looks on these bigger time frames. So the same thing here. We took out these lows. Let me show you the importance of this. So we took out these two lows right here, these two previous lows. We took them all out. We are now eating up this liquidity from right here. Now you have a support that is just beneath that at $24, and this support, I spoke about this on my previous videos. When you go to the weekly time frame, you can see where that's coming from. When you look back, a resistance, resistance, you have all these touchbacks going here, fast forward, same place right there. So looking at this, it really doesn't look like a best case scenario for HIMS right now, because we broke the weekly 21. On the monthly 21, okay, we are way below that. So anyway, let's come to the weekly. So we are way below. We took out these lows. We are back down here. So, I mean, for a bullish case scenario, it's either we get a nice, good green incoming volume, or we start seeing candles pulling higher lows and higher highs. So until then, I'm still a bit hesitant on HIMS right now until I really find a good and clear conviction that this is actually a good trade. I know there's a bunch of people out there saying, well, yeah, buy the dip. Yeah, that's okay. I mean, to each their own. You do you. If you want to buy the dip with shares, well and good. I mean, at some point in time, if they get their ducks in a row and they have good products and the whole thing about peptides goes through and all that stuff, at some point in time, for sure, it's gonna go back up. But until then, I mean, if you're doing call options and you have delta and theta, and especially theta working against you, you don't want to hold onto something that's losing theta by the day. So in terms of calls options, I mean, this is a no-go for me, because I don't want to have this as a losing trade or holding on to it for X amount of time. And that's just according to my trade plan. So if your trade plan says you hold for 1 year, for 2 years, You do you. That's your opinion. That's your case. This is just my opinion that I'm sharing out here. For me, HIMS is still a no-go because I need to really see buyers stepping into this, and most importantly, have this thing come back at least to this weekly 21, and then I can be able to have a better conviction of this. Until then, I want to see green volume, because like guys, even if you look at this volume right here, it's just too low, honestly. And yes, it's just the beginning of the week. Things may change. That I accept, and if that happens, well and good. But I want to see an increased volume at least here to know that for sure we have buyers that are stepping into HIMS. So right now I want to see if we get if we get to the weekly 21 at least, and then I can revisit this and see if it's something to trade or not. So let's come to something else. We spoke about Tesla as well. I mean, you guys, you can see what Tesla did today. I mean, we spoke about this 385 area being a very key area of interest. I told you guys we needed buyers to step in at this level of 385, and we see that. So we had this trend line right here, and we broke out of that trend line, as you can see with this candle for the 4th of May. We broke out of that. We have a continuation right here. We have a strong resistance right here at 440, or rather there was some type of a resistance where it got to 440. It was dancing around 440 for a minute, and then we kept getting the volume we needed to push further above. Got to about 440. Let me see. We got to about 449, and then we closed at about 445. So anyway, for Tesla, I'm looking for continuation for this. We got into this trade and we're still holding on to it. I want to see if we can get to 460 right here. I think this will be a solid trade. So let's wait and see. If we don't get there, well and good. I do have my areas whereby if it crosses right there, it's just time to cut it and hold on to some profits on that. So that's basically it, what I wanted to discuss today. Let me have a quick look at Microsoft, because I've also been checking Microsoft. So we're still at the same place. I'm really liking how we are holding this 410 area solid, and just something I actually thought about sharing with you guys today. You know, looking back, if you go to the weekly time frame, let's look all the way back to 23. You can see this area of 410 is where buyers really stepped in on Microsoft, except this one point here where they didn't step in, and that was right after this earnings. So buyers didn't step in here, and we dropped all the way to down here. So fast forward, karma is repeating itself. As you can see on the weekly chart, we are back in the same place right here. So that's why I've been saying 410 is a really key area for Microsoft, because I want to see incoming volume at this area. I can tell, you can see last week how we were doing well. We spoke about the criticality of 410 in order to push further up to maybe 440s, right about this level here, 440s area. You know, so what I'm trying to say is 410 is critical. I can see the incoming volume, though we need to hold this so that we can be able to see if we can surpass this area of 428 where it keeps failing. You can see right here we failed on all these occurrences. You can see the importance of that. Anyway, we need buyers right here so that we can get to right here at 427, 428 area, and then we need more buyers to step in at this area so we can push further up. So until then, let's wait and see. It's just the beginning of the week. Let's see how things pan out. But other than that, that's all I wanted to share. So thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.